Good morning, my sunshine sisters. It's the first day back into the real world after Christmas and New Year's, and we're already tired. We're already struggling. I told myself I was going to get up at 5 a.m. today and get ready before my little one gets up and have coffee and just sit with the Lord. And I got up at 6:15, rushed around. My little one's in there singing. He's wanting to get up. And we're just not getting to it. That's the life we're living these days. And we're just going to make the best of it. I chose a word to focus on in 2026, which was self-discipline. And I've been sitting with it for a few days. And I just felt like nothing was coming to me. I'm like, okay, I chose self-discipline because Lord knows that I struggle so much with committing to something and sticking with it. And, I start a new diet every Monday, that never pans out. And I'm just like, I just need to be disciplined. Like if I say I'm going to do something, I just got to stick with it. And for myself, I'm so disciplined in this aspect of if I tell you I'm coming to your party, I'm going to come to that party if I say I'm going to be there. But, if I say I'm waking up at 5 a.m. and going to the gym and got to eat, brown rice and grilled chicken all week, that's going out the door by Wednesday morning. So I just feel like I need discipline, but I can't figure out what's really going to fuel me up with it. I flipped through several verses and I'm like, I don't like that one. I'll flip to another one. I'm like, I don't know, Jesus, that's not hidden. And I'm just like, I just need something. And yesterday in church, our pastor was talking about being a disciple for Christ. And you think this would be, common sense, but I was sitting there and it just kind of hit me and I was like, disciple, self-discipline, discipline and disciple. It's basically the same word. And I just kind of had this moment of maybe that's why I have this word on my heart is I just need to be a disciple this year and, let all those other little worries that we go through every day of I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and I'm going to do this and just be a disciple for God. And, let all those other things fall into place when you are being a disciple for Christ. And, I have a long ways to go. I've had this fear. I don't know if it's a fear, a thought, or I don't know how to word it, but of wanting to dive in and having a closer relationship with Jesus and sharing that and getting comfortable with sharing that with people. And, I'm like, but if people know me or if people knew me in the past, that's, they don't think that that's me or I'm going to lose part of myself or, you know, I, you know, I have so many failures every day. But I think that that's what that's about, is with your journey. And like I said yesterday, our pastor said it's the hardest journey you'll ever go on. And it is. And it's something you may have to choose every day. But for me, choosing God is a lot easier than choosing going to the gym or going on a New Year's diet. So maybe through Christ, He will give us strength to do those other things. So my verse that I have kind of chosen to focus on is Hebrews 12, chapter 12, verse 1 through about 4. I really like the whole chapter, but we're just going to do that little piece today. And the title of that is God's Discipline Proves His Love. And it says, therefore, since we are surrounded by such a huge crowd of witnesses to the life of faith, let us strip off every weight that slows us down, especially the sin that so easily trips us up. And so I think, it says the sin that so easily trips us up. That's different for everybody. And we have this conversation a lot in my small group, about drinking or cussing or living with a significant other before marriage. And I think everybody has a different sin that weighs them down. I think God talks to us and puts, stuff on our heart that we know that that's not, where we need to be. And some people, one sip of alcohol, they can't, that brings out, those other behaviors that they're not proud of. Or if they're around certain people, it brings out that jealousy or maybe that more crudeness side of you or whatever it is. And so I think that you have to sit with yourself and decide what is that weight that slows you down. And then it says, and let us run with endurance the race God has set before us. We do this by keeping our eyes on Jesus, the champion who initiates and perfects our faith. So, like I said before, the journey is so hard, and we're not perfect. We're all sinners, obviously, that we know that. It seems like some of us have it a lot better or doing it a lot better than we are. But God is the only one who can strengthen us for the journey, and He perfects our faith. And it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. And it's scary. And that's actually what encouraged me to start doing this. Is I was listening to a podcast, this girl named Dana, that I've really started enjoying her TikToks and podcasts lately. And she was answering the question of like, how did you get into this? And she's like, it's scary, but you just have to do it. And she was like, do it scared. Like, and I just think about that. Like, Jesus knew his path for him and what was waiting for him. But his journey was so hard, and how scary it probably must have been, and what boldness he had to have to stand up in front of the people he did, and to be on the cross and in that much pain. And it makes our daily struggles seem so minuscule compared to that. And so I think it's okay for us to have hard days. It's okay for us, I think, to complain and struggle, because we're human and he knows we're human. Just like today, I guarantee you I'm going to roll my eyes. I'm going to huff and puff a little bit because I'm tired and I want to be home, and I wish holiday could last forever. But I think if you just kind of put your focus back on him and just pray, like, God, give me the strength. What am I supposed to be doing? Like, bring me some joy, fulfill me, put some fire in my heart. I know those are all the things that I've been praying for, that, maybe we can make it through, and with each other, bring each other a little bit of sunshine and just something little to get us through each day. And I hope y'all have a wonderful week. I hope you sit with that verse a little bit this week and decide, what sin you kind of want to shake off this year, that's weighing you down on your path with Christ. And I hope you have a great week.